Immaculate is a religious horror film starring Sydney Sweeney, directed by Michael Mohan. Now, this is the first time I've seen Sydney Sweeney in a thing. She's an up-and-coming actress who's in Euphoria and a couple of drama films, rom-coms, things like that. Heard a lot about her, but she plays Cecilia, a novitiate to become a nun, take her vows in Italy. She doesn't speak Italian in the movie. She's learning, and she meets everyone. There's a lot of other nuns and some older fuddy-duddies and a father who's really like a mentor of sorts for her. And she goes there to do her vows, and however, after she stays there, she becomes pregnant, and she's not had any sex with any man or woman, so now she has an immaculate conception coming, a sort of miracle that will sort of potentially have her birth the new Christ, because that's what happened to Mary. So there's a little bit of unease at the beginning of this film because the other sisters do not like her, and she's new, and how come this is happening to her? Is she a liar? Things like that. It's a really steady unease at the beginning of the film. The movie has a wonderful musical score. The music has classic Italian sounding songs and folk songs and classical stuff to make it really uneven and sort of this sort of weird, unnatural sort of juxtaposition between certain scenes. Like there'll be like a cheerful kind of like folk tale song while the montage while she's learning how to do all this stuff, and then there'll be like the creepy, really like almost like like really like over the top Omen style musical score. And I have to get into that theme as well. This is a horror thriller that's very similar to others, like the first Omen, even the Nun 2, So this movie is a little bit on the generic side. It's very short. When you hit the runtime thing, it says an hour and 25 minutes, but the movie's actually only an hour and 20 minutes. It feels really short. There isn't much in terms of character development for Cecilia. All the other characters have backstories, like the priest and one of her sister friends and some of the others, but she has no backstory, and she's just sort of there to move the plot along. And there's like a conspiracy because people want the baby. She doesn't know where it's from. And honestly, I felt Sydney Sweeney was overacting in certain scenes. She is a producer on this film, so she does get a say, but I felt like there's like this really traumatic scene, and then she just like stops and says something, and then she goes back to it. They're kind of pushing a girl boss sort of vibe going on in this film, that she can do anything even though she's like super pregnant and like can barely move, and they kind of just rush through everything, to be honest, and I didn't like the ending. So overall, Immaculate's nothing special. It's very similar to other religious sort of creepy films. This one's a little bit on the tame side, so I gave it a 4 out of 10.